On this episode, we talk all about customer service in our industry. Recruiter Adam is here, and recruiter and nurse Heather is here. Atlas All Access starts now.
From Kirkham at 0450.
Heather, welcome.
Welcome to the War Room.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Did you ever watch the show The Curse of Oak Island?
No.
No? Okay.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
No, no. Don't.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
a great
get
show,
started.
but you get sucked in, and we'll tell you about it someday. So.
Off topic.
So before we get into customer service, which may seem like a weird topic for us, but I think you'll understand once we get into it, I want to introduce the shirt for Vegas.
Yay.
This is
So
just
excited.
came in yesterday. This is the prototype, much like the Kool-Aid shirt last year. We got it a little bit earlier this year. So this is the Las Vegas shirt. You may recognize it from the Nurses Week cards. I think this has kind of been a running theme since Nurses Week for us. So I am super excited. That's the towel there on the table as well. We've been working on TravCon plans now for pre-TravCon plans since April. And
I'm super geeking out. It's going to be fun.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You
gets
should
better and
come.
better and
Everybody
better
should be there.
every year.
Every year we think, how are we possibly going to top last year? And I really think we've got a handle on this year, like even more so than last year.
Absolutely.
So awesome. So welcome, Heather. I'm so happy to have you with us
Yeah, good to
in
have you in
Omaha,
town
no
this
less.
I know.
Why? Tell me a little bit why you're here.
I try to come in the summers to bring the kids up and to really get into the office and work on the interpersonal relationships we have here. And it's just a fun time to be up here. It's College World Series and lots of work in the office to do.
It's too bad the Longhorns went home yesterday.
I know, it's a bummer. That's okay. Tech's coming out.
There you go.
Sun's up, guns up.
Yep. It's gonna. If you have if you have not been to Omaha for the College World Series, if you watch our dailies. I believe the daily yesterday was all about tailgating at the College World Series, so you
Yeah.
can see what it looks like down there. It is so much fun.
Insane.
Even if you're not a big baseball fan.
No, it's just a good time.
It's a great family event. Like I took
Yep.
my two girls to the game yesterday, and they play softball. But obviously, just super cool to see people walking around, and you see grown men with their dads walking around. Like it's something to put on your bucket list just to come to Omaha and do it once. It's really cool. We're lucky that it's here. We take it for granted that it is.
Yep.
But I mean, you guys have been up
so
here,
much
and
fun.
it's
We try to come every year.
Yeah.
We personally plan this trip out for it. So.
It's a great time. So let's get into this. As I was looking for Facebook posts of the week, I ran across this one from our nurse Chloe Latimer, who was on the Atlas Life with us not too long ago. Chloe posted this on Facebook just, I don't know, probably early last week. Well, no, it was end of last week. And I clipped it out and I thought, this is it. This is our Facebook post of the week.
This is the Facebook post of the week.
All right, so I'll read it. Chick-fil-A has 37 cars in line. Wait time equals 1 minute 54 seconds. Workers make it rain condiments on me. Treat me like I am their favorite cousin. McDonald's has 2.5 cars in line. Wait time equals the first half of the NBA Finals game. Makes it seem like their condiments are a brick of gold. Treat me like I am the stepdad they blame for their parents' divorce. Look, all kidding aside, I don't disagree with this. I love Chick-fil-A, and part of the reason I love Chick-fil-A is because of how they treat their customers.
sure.
So, and I thought, how does this relate to what we do? And so I broke it down, and I thought it'd be fun to have recruiter perspective and then have Heather here, who's also a nurse, right?
Yep.
Nurse perspective. So let's break this down. In our industry, who are customers?
Yeah, I mean, customers would be obviously the nurse,
Yep.
and obviously the other customer would be the hospital.
Yep.
And then you probably throw the vendor, the middleman in there of somewhere, vendor or VMS in there as well as our customers, direct customers that we would deal with on an everyday basis.
I would almost go as far, and I don't want to minimize patient care whatsoever at all, but as a nurse, the patient is
Is our customer. The family, the patient, those are our customers, as
Right.
well as the doctors. I hate to say that, but we have to appease what they want, what their orders are. So it really, all we do is customer service.
Yeah, wow.
On-
I didn't even think about it that far, but
on
that's a different
that.
perspective that definitely takes it there.
Right. So let's start right there. Like as a nurse, when inpatient care, talk me through that kind of customer service piece to the patient and the family.
Everything's timing. We have to coordinate our days completely based on medications, meals, family coming in and out, when your doctors are coming in and out, because we have to know everything. So it really does break down to, it's everything that you do. And if you get something wrong, the patient is the one that feels it all. Not necessarily the hospital, but it's all about the patient. So.
And you see it all the time online that it's the patient may be the easy part, it's the family that's the difficult part sometimes.
It can be, yeah.
And I get it as a
Yeah.
family member of someone that's ill.
It can be, especially when you're working with children. Their families are the most important, and those babies, they want the best care. The elderly are the same way. Sometimes they can be the hardest ones because their family members are so adamant about their care.
Yeah. So then from a recruiter standpoint, your customer then is
Obviously the nurse
Right.
for the most part. Obviously not dealing with the hospital directly. I'm dealing with somebody internally with Atlas. Once again, that would be my customer as well, would be my client manager on there. But, it all comes down to communication. I mean, it really just comes down to communication, because as a recruiter, not ever being a nurse, I don't understand some of those situations sometimes. So it can be hard sometimes going through some of those situations. But what I can do is I can communicate to them that I understand what their issue is. And I can also understand that, hey, I want to communicate that to the vendor, to the hospital, so that we can all be on the same page. On there as well. And sometimes, that's asking the nurse to go back and communicate with their direct report at the hospital, because I think sometimes, and Heather probably has a better take on this than I do, but a lot of times, yes, we do place them at the hospital. Yes, we do have them under contract with Atlas Med staff. But at the end of the day, the nurse really you're still a nurse for that hospital. So if they do have an issue with the actual manager or the unit or whatever, like, they need to voice that opinion. Like, I can't go and make a hospital change a policy, but I can be in their corner to direct them in the correct steps about going about having that conversation on there as well.
I hear it a lot, especially when going through orientation and they're asking us, hey, I don't know where I'm at or what's going on. A lot of times that's an internal issue, and they have to internally find that out for themselves. And that's a hard thing for us to have to take it back to, because there are so many steps. The vendor can clog a system up, and that.
Well, and that brings me to, and we could have had a client manager here, for that piece, but I did that for a number of years, and so I can speak to that. Like, my customer as a client manager working directly with a vendor or the hospital is almost, it's nearly threefold. So it's the hospital or the vendor, right? It's that contact there. It's also the nurse, who I don't necessarily have contact with. More importantly, though, it's recruiters, right? So we're and I say we're unique. I know there are other agencies that kind of split it like we do, or whatever. But in this sort of symbiotic relationship that we have, the client manager reports directly to the recruiter on this, and then reports to the hospital as well. So I've got as a client manager 3 different sets of people relying on me to provide the best possible service that I can. And if it breaks down anywhere along the way, which it has before, right?
It breaks down all the
All the
time.
time.
Right.
All the time. I mean, it's a constant flow. And it goes back to, with the Chick-fil-A and the McDonald's piece on there. It goes back to what's a timely manner.
Sure.
I typically tell people, like, I should have an answer or at least follow up with you on an issue, 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. But hearing from travelers that they've sent a question to their recruiter and it's been 3-4 days and they don't have an answer or didn't even get a response back, that's the issue that you're seeing, just like here. Obviously, the time is different, but that is the issue of correctly going back and having that conversation of, hey, I'm following up on this. I will get you an answer. On those kind of things. So I think in our business, that's where the communication piece or the customer service piece gets lost. Is what is a timely manner. And as a good recruiter, I would say, not saying I'm a good recruiter, but the good recruiters that are out there is you are successful by being quick on your responses,
Absolutely.
knowing your information. Never speaking outside of the box or lying or however you want to put it. But I think that's what makes the good recruiters the best recruiters is their communication time.
And understanding that you can do, like, 1 to 2 hours for me means I'm on it, I'm trying to find out, and then coming back and saying we've sent an email, we're waiting on a response. And sometimes those responses can take 12, 24,
It could
36 hours.
It could take a
but
week to get an answer.
But as long as you know that I'm working on it and I really am trying, that's our piece of that.
It's setting expectations,
exactly.
realistic expectations
Exactly.
on there, and sometimes it's completely out of our control.
Yep.
But if you're following up every day, every other day, hey, here's
we're still bugging. I always tell them, let me bug the hospital one more time. Like, I'm constantly bugging them.
Yep.
I'd rather bug them than just sit back and wait.
Right. Well, and it's perfectly acceptable answer is I don't have an answer,
Yes.
but I'm going to get it, right? But we're working on it. And I think sometimes I know just in my 14, 15 years now, that was tough at first. Like, I don't want to tell somebody I don't have an answer yet. I just want to fix it right now.
Yep.
And you sometimes can't, right? A lot of the times you can't.
Yep.
And it's getting comfortable with that. I don't have an answer, but I will get you that, but I'm working on it, or I will bother the hospital one more time, or I will ask the nurse one more time. When it comes from a client manager point of view, right? That
From the nurse role, I would almost say it's like waiting on pharmacy, and every nurse will understand that. I am ready to do my job. I have everything I need. Waiting on pharmacy. Like, where are my drugs?
Sure.
it's actually a really good example.
It is
That's-
like he's coding out. I just need something. Like, can we get some stuff going? So
Sure.
we kind of feel that as well as recruiters, but it's kind of playable there.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it that way, but maybe we
Yeah.
should have a nurse on all the time. We should.
Yeah.
Adam and I could just sit here and talk all day long.
I told you
Just-
I'm willing to move up.
Do
Gotta
you have
talk to the husband.
any real estate, Jeremy? We need cops here in Omaha. I don't know. So, good schools. Come on. I mean, it has nothing to do with any of this.
it's
So, but
Side note.
So let's go back to this now. And no diss on McDonald's. My good Lord, my boy loves
Kids love
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt.
Totally does. But I get it, and we've all kind of experienced this or whatever, but the one place that I have not experienced this is Chick-fil-A because it is just drilled into them from the day that they start, from that day that person starts there, right? If someone says thank you, you say my pleasure, right? I mean, that's drilled into them.
Yep.
So from an industry standpoint, I know, and I hope when, I ask from, where I sit at Atlas to where, to the recruiter and nurse, that this is something that we talk about a lot, right?
Sure.
Just that honesty piece that you just be honest with them.
Yes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. No doubt.
And this is going to save you from being example number 2.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah. Awesome. Well, Heather, thank you so much for being with us today. That was quick and painless.
No, that wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, see? Totally easy.
like
So keep an eye on, we just created, and you'll see it if you get our weekly emails on Monday, you'll see it on Monday, the Atlas and Friends page. Atlas and Friends was just, we sat on it for a while. It was something that we really had talked about doing for some time now. And I don't want it to be, it's not a recruiting page, we're not posting jobs, anything like that. It's a place for us to just connect. And Heather had a great idea, and I think we're going to start doing this. When we're out somewhere.
Yeah, like I'm going to Destin next week with my family. If there's any nurses in that area, I'll just post up, hey, I'm in Destin, does anybody want to hang out? Because I think that more importantly with Atlas, it's reaching our nurses. It's really getting to know, and that's why I love Vegas, because there's a lot of times my nurses will come to Vegas, that's the first time I've ever met them, that connection to me is more important than any hospital, any contract, any
money,
Any
given,
money.
any money.
I don't
made.
care. I love my nurses because I love who they are as people,
Mm-hmm.
and Atlas loves you guys like that too. So I think that's where we differ in everything that we do. So if we
Mm-hmm.
could reach out to you guys when y'all are at your spots, that's fun. I mean,
Yeah, it was always,
blast.
Vegas was always just about, from the day we started doing it, when we went first time 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, it was just, because we didn't have a whole lot of money 5 years ago, it was just thank you. Let us buy you a beer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just a thank you, and that's what that would be,
exactly.
right? That's it.
And it doesn't have to be your own recruiter. Understand that Atlas works. We are all each other's best friends. We're all each other's biggest advocate. So if you see somebody that's out in your area, not your recruiter, but get together and just figure out what we're about.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it'll
that's
be-
the best place to
It'll
do
be
it.
a lot of fun. If you
I know.
haven't joined the Atlas and Friends page yet, please
Yep.
do. Like I said, it's not about recruiting. It's just about building goodwill in the
Mm-hmm.
industry that we all belong to.
And we have resources on there too for different places that you're at, like Salt Lake City has
Yep. Mm-hmm.
a group. We're going to plug those into that page. So anytime you go somewhere, hopefully we can find you other nurses to hang out with. Because some of those cities, so much fun and so many nurses, they can just get together and tell them what's going on.
Yep.
And so it's a great
It's a good resource.
tool.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's a great resource to have. So Heather, thank you again.
Yeah, not at all.
Good to have you here.
Excited.
Adam, as always, thank you.
Yep. Take the rain home with you.
Yeah, no
Please.
kidding.
We
It's been-
we bring hurricanes with us.
It's been raining nonstop here in Omaha, so hopefully that ends. So, all right.
All
Have a
right,
great week.
bye guys.
We'll see you next week.